Gruesome Magazine.
Hello, once again, I'm your host, Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest streaming and video-on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dreher, and I will take a look at very spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we are reviewing The Call. We are streaming now on SHUDDER. All right, what we're going to do when we get to it, I've got to introduce the crew here in a second, but we're going to give our first impression. Then that'll be spoiler-free. And then we'll get into a discussion, which we will dive into some spoilers because they have to. And then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. But let me introduce the crew over here to my left. Hanging out here is my co-host, Jeff Mohr.
Oh.
How you doing, sir?
No, I'm to your right. What? Oh, anyway. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. Good night. All right. Also joining us is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl. How you doing?
Good. That was really fast and a little disconcerting. I'm so used to something more.
Me wasting a bunch of time.
That's what she said always. All right. Rounding out the crew is the one and only Dave Dreher.
Are we picking up on the call, Doc? Are we picking up on the call? Are we doing it?
No, we're hanging up.
Are we hanging up on the call? I had a feeling. We're cutting the line.
We are putting it on. Beep. Nope. Not taking that.
I had
call.
a feeling that might be the case.
Which call are we talking about?
We're going to voicemail, my friend. They're going. No, okay. We are going to review The Call, which is going to be streaming on SHUDDER. Let's take a look at the card, shall we? From the creator of Final Destination. Yes, The Call streaming with no G on SHUDDER.
Streaming.
July 15, 2021. Directed by Timothy Woodward Jr. I don't know why I gave him an extra M, but I guess it has to do with the missing G. I don't. Where is spell check when you need it?
Well,
but congratulations on your extra M.
We wanted to make sure we didn't get Timothy confused with Timothy.
Timothy.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Streaming, beginning and end. Timothy. Like.
Is the movie even called The Call? Are we even sure of that? I don't know.
Well, Crystal was calling it The Call. The Call. The Call. All right. The writer is Patrick Stibbs. The cast includes Lin Shaye. Yay! Tobin Bell. Yay! Chester Erin Sanders. Mike Manning. Who the hell? What the hell did I do? What drugs? What drugs was I on when I wrote this? Sloane, Morgan, Siegel, and Judd, Lorman. Oh my god. You know, spell check is a wonderful thing. I should have employed it. All right, in the fall of 1987, and it took me half the film to really realize it was 1987, a group of small-town friends must survive the night in the home of a sinister couple after a tragic accident brings them to that very couple's front door. Yes. Stop sending stuff to me, Jeff, when I'm trying to. All right, let's.
What are you looking at it for?
What?
I don't know. At least it's spelled correctly. All right, Jeff Mohr, you're up first.
Oh, I knew it.
What was your first impression of The Call?
Well, I gotta tell you. I think I'm going to be alone here.
What?
I kind of like this movie.
What?
Only from the point of view that I found it kind of scary.
What?
I did.
Yeah.
I was sitting down here at like 1 o'clock in the morning watching this
I love
and going,
That's so cute.
"Ooh." And then
So cute.
that creepy Lin Shaye jump scare.
Well, I will give you that. I will. Lin Shaye is delightfully scary.
And the evil abuser, that guy too. That kind of stuff creeps me out.
The father.
yeah.
So anyway, And of course, I don't care. Tobin Bell and Lin Shaye are cool.
They are cool.
But I enjoyed it. Does it have huge flaws? Yes. But it had some parts in there that were kind of creeping me out.
All right. Well, that's what we're here for. All right. Crystal, what is your first impression of the call?
The call. Okay, so I think that I say this often, but I mean it. I think the actors did a good job, and I think it was shot really well. And I think it had a lot of promise. I think that Lin and Tobin were actually, Lin was phenomenal in this. It's disappointing that she was phenomenal in this movie, but I was like, she really got to have some fun with it. The screaming, she was a little bit more robust, I guess is what I would say, in this role. The story was, oh boy, it really
Deep thought.
long. It was long.
My.
It was really long, and it was not good. Not good. It just was silly. It was, I guess it felt like, I think this would have been maybe a good short, and I probably would have really enjoyed it as a short. And I think it kind of ended like it didn't have any meat. There was I understand they were trying to give the kids stories through that, and in that all it did was make the movie sadder, because all it was a bunch of sad people, literally all of them, a bunch of sad people doing sad things to each other. That doesn't work. That doesn't work, because you have to, if you're going to make a character sympathetic, then you need to allow some of that sympathy to play out, and there wasn't that, so you kind of felt bad for every single one of them and had no one to root for, and then there's no hope, abandon all hope, ye who enter here, so yeah, that's the reason why I think I had the most difficulty with this story. I think it was an interesting concept and an interesting idea, and perhaps it could have worked. I mean, even the one character who had an out didn't take it, and I'm just like, okay. So, yeah. So while I enjoyed it, I felt it was a little bit of a chore, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh my. Dave Dreher, sir.
Yeah.
What was your first impression of the call?
I'm with Crystal on this one. I found this one to be a bit of a chore, but I really thought Tobin Bell. Actually, this is the second film we've had with Tobin Bell in as many weeks. What was that one he had where he stood on the porch a lot? What was that one? I can't remember the name of it.
Let them in,
it
or something
too.
like that. Yeah.
Let us in.
Yeah. And he was good in that, and he's even better in this, I think. And both of our veteran actors performed brilliantly in this. I thought it was great, and I also liked the story idea. They just didn't do anything with the story idea. I think the whole idea of having to go up there and take that phone call for 1 minute and survive is an interesting premise. But they kind of got lost. It seemed like the filmmakers kind of got lost in trying to make cool images, and they lost the story somewhere along the way. And I hate when filmmakers do that, because I know obviously filmmaking is a visual medium, but at the end of the day, it's the goddamn story that sells everything. And some of the stuff looked great, but who cares? Because you didn't know what the hell was going on. So so it lost me on several different occasions. And kudos to them for almost getting Tobin Bell to say, "Would you like to play a game?" He almost said it.
Oh my God.
He almost said it.
God.
It was so close. I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna freaking say it, and he didn't say it. I'm like, but that's about the closest we're ever gonna get to him saying it outside of a Saw movie. So kudos for that. But yeah, I've been using this word a lot lately, but I found it to be kind of a little uneven. The parts I really liked, and the parts that really sucked hard. Unfortunately, it was about 60-40 on the suck meter. So, so that's that's where that one lays.
There's a suck meter.
There's a suck meter. There's a suck meter now.
Where have I been without my suck meter? All right, I despise this movie. I'm sorry to Timothy. Sorry, Timothy, but
Timothy.
I apologize for one misspelling your name. That was truly an accident. I did not realize it. I was in a rush. I apologize. But I this movie rubbed me the wrong way. I really got frustrated with the story. I got really confused. I really didn't get the characters, and I didn't get their motivations were unclear. Their backstories were unclear before we got into their backstories late in the game, and then it didn't matter. And I mean, it did because that was the point, but I didn't have any context by that time, so I had no investment. And there's a thing called foreshadowing. This needed a lot more foreshadowing. We need to know a little bit more about these characters before they went into this. This movie really bored me. Now, that's all the bad stuff. The good stuff is that Lin Shaye is remarkable in this. If you're going to watch this, you're watching it for Lin Shaye. She whatever they paid her, they didn't pay her enough because she is fantastic in this. I'm saying she is really. I mean, she brought it all. I loved her. I loved the character that she created in this. Mm-hmm. I loved how there was a lot going on with that character. She's not in it nearly. I mean, well, she is kind of in it throughout, but not visually, right? Most of the time it's over the phone. Slight spoilers, but Tobin Bell also is really fantastic, and together they're even better. They make a great couple. They really make a great couple. I really bought them as a couple. Their voices, just play off each other so well. Because Tobin has such a recognizable voice. He's known for.
Guy is a gorgeous voice. It is like butter.
Yeah, it is. And then Shaye, has a really interesting voice as well, which we've come to love over all the decades of films. So I was just real surprised how these two characters, these two actors, and the characters they played work together. I did not like any of the four characters. Not that I didn't like the actors, but I just did not like. I had no interest in whether what was going on. So there's no stakes, right? And without stakes, all the scares are simply jump scares, right? There's no tension, there's no fear. That's just, and there are some legitimate, really good jump scares in here. Lin Shaye screams like, and she, oh my god, oh. And there's one thing I wanted to like more, where this one character comes down the hallway, but it's like, wow, that could have. I feel like I've seen that, but it could have been cool, and it kind of
in every. It's kind of like something new. It needs to be something new now.
Yeah. I mean, but it is an effective thing, but I don't know. For me, the tragedy is the story itself. It just really did not. I did not fall into the context of the story. Did not enjoy their backstories. I didn't feel any urgency to it. I didn't feel the connection between the characters. And there was I didn't even know there were brothers. I didn't realize there were brothers.
Until the second. Yeah. Right. Okay, so this movie, a lot of the reason why there are horror movies based around rules is because there are rules for reasons. Like, they need to have certain things that make the story kind of fit together and work. And one of the things that you don't do in a horror movie is all of a sudden they tacked this last character on, this innocent, and they didn't treat him like an innocent. And that's a problem. Okay, that doesn't work.
Well, but then they tried to explain he wasn't, right? Because of the girlfriend, the old girlfriend, or whatever that was.
But he was, because that wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his fault.
No, it wasn't his fault.
Right.
And so I have a real problem with it. There's reasons for this formula, and I know everyone wants to bust out of the formula. You can't all be freaking Brandon Cronenberg or whoever, like you do need to follow rules to make your stuff work for the most part. And there was no one to root for.
That well, I think they wanted you to have somebody to root for. They wanted you to root.
Yeah, but then he was just. Then what does he do? Really?
The dumbest thing to save
Ever.
save the one really guilty person out of the bunch.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The horrible. Oh my god. Yeah, she's the worst. Yeah, that's the problem. It's like, okay, pew pew. I mean, I felt bad, a little bad for the brothers, because you kind of understand why they are the way that they are because of how they were raised and everything that happened to them. But you think it was missing sympathy. Even though they were trying to create sympathy, it didn't.
Yeah.
And the story structure didn't capitalize on its own structure well enough. And this may be me bringing more into it than that they intended. And Dave, you might relate to this, and Jeff, you might as well. I think, Crystal, this is before your time. But you might the old anthology films like the one I'm thinking about the most is Torture Garden. Where something happens and then you get their story.
Right.
And that's kind of every time they get the call, we get their story. Right. And,
right.
And if it was structured a little quicker to that, right, and it wasn't about them this half hour 45-minute build up to getting the calls, and they were getting the calls a little earlier, and then it was okay, then it's character A's story, and then you go to character B's story. That the structure that they were or how they revealed each character would have worked better, because that's how in my head that's how it was clicking.
Well, that's why I think as a short, I think it'd be very successful. Because, it'd be much quicker. And all that stuff in the beginning with them meeting each other, there's a lot to it that's fluff. Like the mom.
Yeah, or the carnies. They were fun, but...
Fluff.
Yeah. But, so, here's... The big problem I had is like, okay, so the father, right? The abusing father. Did I miss it? Did we have any inclination that these two were suffering this before we got...
No.
So
no, it was just introduced. It was just there.
So I had a real big problem with that. Should I?
Mm-hmm.
Should I have a problem with
yes.
that? Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, typically they have a scene.
Jeff shook no. Why?
I said I don't know. I don't. It's to me, what it did was it explained why I was looking at it as the two brothers reacted differently to the same stimulus. Mm-hmm. The one went around and bullied everybody else. He's getting bullied by his father, so he's being a dick to everybody else. And the other one was trying to make somebody happy because he ain't making his dad happy. So he's trying to make his brother think he's cool. So it sort of explained their relationship, although it was pretty one-dimensional and kind of late in the game.
Yeah, that's why I think some foreshadowing would have.
Yeah, there could have easily been
something. And same for the girl. The girl we got a little bit, but did we? It's so out of context that I'm not sure.
I think I was okay with the girl stuff only because that could have been a really monumental reveal. Mm-hmm. If they had done foreshadowing for everyone else and not her, still played, I don't want to give anything, still played the victim, mm-hmm. I think that could have been very successful. And then you're like, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah. Now I will agree, and Dave, I like the telephone concept. This really works in the 80s. It wouldn't work now. I like the. What? Oh, Jeff says no. What? Tell me, Jeff.
I like the concept, but after the very first call, then I don't think he stayed on for a minute. That's a mistake. So the second call, I decided to time it. And he was on for like 2 minutes. So the minute, that was just a scam. That was just to make you stay on until you got hooked by whoever was on the other end,
Yes.
right? Because it didn't matter.
Or maybe time
I don't know.
changed. Maybe.
But the very first guy, I really liked him. What happened with I still don't know exactly what happened, but when he got transformed, and then I don't want to give too much away, but you know what I mean. He got up from the desk. I thought that was interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There are some. I will agree. There are some visual flourishes, and there are some. I loved the makeup effects on Lin Shaye.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, she has the greatest lines in this as well. But so I have a question, and this is slightly spoiler, but the we'll call him the bully character, right? The bully character. Did he have a relationship with Tanya, the girl, or was that because every time our new guy was flirting with him, he seemed to get jealous, but yet I didn't realize. I never was clear if what.
I think that they didn't have a relationship, but I think he clearly was interested in her.
I think he wanted one. He thought there was, but
did they sell it?
It made no sense that these 4 people were hanging out. It really didn't. I mean,
oh no! Actually,
the 2 brothers,
here's the biggest problem. Here, let me just tell you, it's much bigger than that. The biggest issue here is some rando dude phones you in the middle of the night and just says your name, and you scurry on over there. You don't tell your parents. You don't tell any adults. You're a child, I guess, in high school, and you're gonna be like,
that made no sense.
No, that's that's like the biggest issue. I was like,
did they know it was going to be
stupid? Who's that?
We don't know what he said. We don't know what he said to him, really.
It doesn't matter what he said. I mean, any.
Yeah.
I was just
I thought the same thing. He gets a call, and next thing I know, they're over there, and I'm like,
they're knocking on the door. What do you want, dude? Like, really? You're just gonna walk into the valley?
I mean, are you crazy? knowing that he's probably gonna kill you. He's trying to kill you. Clearly, I mean, there would be no doubt in my mind. I was like, this guy wants me dead. Definitely.
Plus, he looks like Tobin Bell. So, I mean, he's a guy, but he has a reputation. All right, let's just say.
Did they ever? And again, I may have zoned out. I may have zoned out, but there at the beginning when we get that first, the kids in Lin Shaye, like in front of her house. Is there even a reason that occurs? Is there?
They just want to throw eggs at her house or something. Right?
Yeah, it's rocks, but it's basically the same thing. Yeah. Because they blame her for the missing child in their. Just one of the girl's sister, and
and Tanya's kind of the ringleader, and she's the only one that knows that's all a bunch of
shit. Yeah,
bit of a mess. Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't get into it. I was so frustrated. I was screaming. It made me mad. This movie made me mad.
It should make you mad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't get mad at movies.
I hate when that happens to Doc.
Yeah, because there's definitely some certain things that could have been added and could have been revamped that would have, you can't treat your audience like we're stupid. It's disrespectful.
You might get away with it. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up and skip our final thoughts.
That's true.
Our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. But before we do, if you're still hanging out with us, I think Tobin Bell checked out about 30 minutes ago. If you're still hanging out with us, we hope you enjoyed the review and many others that we have on the site. If you'd like to help us out, subscribe button or share with a friend. Crystal killing me. She's killing me over here. Leave some comments down below. Tell us how wrong we are. I want to know.
Oh, I'm sure I'll get a lot of hate for that.
Did I just bring the poo-poo soup with me?
You are dumb. You know nothing. That's what people will tell me.
I've had that before. This is the saddest episode.
What?
All right, let's go ahead and wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score, and favorite scene. Jeff, sir, you are us first.
So pluses for Lin Shaye.
Sorry.
What?
I deserve that.
Man's is that?
Wait a minute. Elijah Cook Jr. Oh, wait. That was
Oh my God, I think we've gone crazy.
yeah. Like happened to another podcast I was on. We were like, I don't know where the rails went, but we can't find it. So big plus for Lin Shaye, big plus for Tobin Bell, big plus for some of the visuals, but really a big minus for the characters and the narrative. The narrative can't think of the word I want. Connections, to bring the people together and make things happen. It was just not good. But I'm giving it a generous 2.5 for those two performances and some of the visuals. And I was getting kind of goosebumpy part of the time.
Right? Well, no, I'm glad you were. That's
So I think my favorite scene is going to be when what was the guy's name? Zach, the kind of the bullying guy. When he's on the phone and he looks, I think he's the one. She's talking to him. I couldn't really even understand what she was saying at that point. Later on, I could, but anyway, he's on the phone and he gets transported into another.
Yeah, I love that
existence.
he stands up and walks away, and his character is still sitting there at the same time.
Yeah,
really well done. Really, I will agree with that. That is very well done. That's a nice visual. All right, Crystal, you're up next. Your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene. So,
there were some effective moments in this movie, and it was shot well, and I think the acting was fine. I'm giving it a 2.5 as well, because I think it's, actually it's probably a little above average for sure. I mean, if we're giving 2.5, it's basically an average. So, just, it could have been better. It could have been a lot better, actually. I'm confused as to, for a movie that actually seems like it should make sense, it didn't. And that's unfortunate. But, my favorite scene is when we so messed up. When we find out what happened to the little sister. I mean, it was like, wheek. It was so hardcore. I was like, oh, okay. I see. Whoa.
You are evil. You are evil, little girl. That was awesome. All right, Dave, sir, you're up next. Your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene. Not Crystal isn't evil, but in the movie. I just want to clarify that.
That too.
I don't know how to follow that. I'm sorry. If you're gonna force yourself to watch this, watch it just to watch Tobin Bell and Lin Shaye do their thing, because they're really what kind of saves this. The story idea isn't bad; it's just not well conceived. Somebody else could take the same story, I think, and make a really good movie out of it. It's not. It's not that it's poorly directed. This lays completely at the foot of the writer, the screenwriter, whoever put this thing together, because it's just a bit of a hot mess. But when you can get talent like Tobin Bell and Lin Shaye and get the type of performances out of them you can, and it still sucked this bad, that's saying something.
That's an achievement.
Yeah, exactly. So favorite scene, I'm going to go with actually the first scene we get Lin Shaye. I think that might be like maybe however long that scene is, 3 or 4 minutes. Some of her best acting I've ever seen her pull off, quite frankly. It was very effective, and when she screams at the end there, it's like, holy shit, God, yes. Jesus, good Lord, woman. So I really enjoyed that scene, and I really thought it was setting this up for something special. As it turns out, it's the best part of the movie. So I'm going to give it a 2.25. So that's giving 1.125 for Tobin and 1.125 for Lin and absolutely nothing for anybody else associated with this movie. So I mean, it's on Shudder.
Check your math, but that's all right.
Whatever it is. It's late. It's late. Hey, if you can misspell Timothy, I can add it.
You got anything you want, buddy? I totally messed up that card. Oh my god, I messed up some cards, but that card was messed up.
If you were a good speller and I was a good mathematician, we wouldn't be doing podcasts, right? Isn't that how it But yeah, I mean, it's on Shudder. You're paying your $5. Go ahead and watch it, but don't say we didn't warn you.
$5. Oh yeah, this how many times we could probably count how many times movies frustrated me this much. On one hand, this one really got under my skin. Now, I was angry at this movie. I agree with Crystal and Dave and Jeff as well that it's actually well made. I will give the technical credits of it and the acting credit. It's a professional movie, and it actually, it feels like it could be a film that went to the theaters. I mean, it really looks strong, but man, I just was so lost with the characters and their motivations and. I mean, outside of the broad motivation of what's going on with the sister, right, and that's driving the whole thing of all the characters, but their individual character motivations, I was just so lost, and it was the phone calls are depending on it, so it was like it's the heartbeat of the story that you need that, and it just didn't connect, and I was like, when did this happen? Why did that happen? When do we know about that? I was just so. There are some really good jump scares. I'll give it that. So, God, this movie just frustrates the shit out of me. Yes, Lin Shaye, Tobin Bell are fantastic. You want to watch it, and you want to watch them together. We want them together more often. I'd love to see them on a,
Me too.
like a, Amazing Horror Story or. It's not Amazing Horror Story.
American
Horror Story. Oh my God. It is truly late, my friend. Yeah, American Horror Story. That kind of they would be great as
Actually,
like the
Amazing Horror Story sounds fun too.
Yeah, that trademark that if we can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it 2, and that's because you guys.
A 2.
I wanted to give it less. I screamed out a very low number at the end of this. But I don't know why I'm feeling so generous. I really am.
Because we're pumping it up.
I think so. My favorite scene actually was the one Dave took because I thought when she showed up, I thought that was so great. So if I can't take that, her next scene solo is really good too. That's later. I think that's what Jeff was talking about. But in between all that mess is a scene with Lin Shaye and Tobin Bell, and Lin Shaye is really reeling from that encounter, and Tobin Bell is trying to console her, and it's, oh my God, it's lit so well, and they're acting. I mean, there's this great fireplace light is shining, through Tobin Hare's hair. It's like amazing, and you can, and there was so much compassion between them, and you could tell that it was affecting Lin Shaye's character. It was really a wonderful scene, stuck in the middle of this mess. And they truly are, some of the best character actors we have out there, and they are amazing together. I really do want to see them together again. So yeah.
Yep.
Agreed.
That's that.
I'm going to get hate mail from Timothy. I know.
You're a bad man.
You didn't like my movie. You just spelled my name wrong. I'm sorry. I didn't.
In your defense, Timothy is a tough word.
It is not. It's really simple.
I
I
am so sorry to everyone involved in this film. I am so sorry.
I just had a loose M hanging out. It It just fell right there in the middle of his name.
That's the dreaded dangling M.
I did, you know, it fell out of my face when I was typing it. It landed on his name.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh man, Jeff, Crystal, Dave, read my cards better. But no, thank you for joining me. I need a QA expert. Thank you all for joining me. This was, I'm crying. This was a lot of fun. Thank you all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah.
Thank
Now
you.
that everyone hates us.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Have a
wonderful night.
Say good night.
Bye.
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 Hey, Mel,
Just
down
3 old
below.
guys and a girl.
I heard that. Good night.
Gruesome Magazine.
Honestly,